Yay. Thanks for joining, everyone. So this is an exciting topic and an exciting call. So first and foremost, I want to say, you guys, awesome week this past week. It was so fun to see all the new people get started. I mean, I didn't even count up the full amount, but at least a few dozen during the week. So super good. Kelly Pierce hit 5-cycle bonus. So I don't know if she's on, but yay, Kelly. So exciting for her. Can you guys hear me? Yes, you can. Okay. You know that moment when you thought you were muted. So, okay. So awesome job, Kelly. And then I also want to make sure that if you have any upcoming launch parties, throw them in the chat. Throw the launch parties in the chat. And we have Shine Your Light at my house this Thursday. I think it'll be a fun, intimate, dreaming sort of session. If you're anywhere in Prior Lake or surrounding, which I listed surrounding in Everyday Rockstars, you can check that out. Invite your people, come, hang out. It's going to be just a great night. That's on Thursday. Tessa and Dominic, I'll put theirs in the chat if they're not on, but we have another one in Hopkins on Wednesday. So then I just would love to introduce our speaker tonight, and she's from our team. And honestly, you guys, Mollie, I just have seen her work, make some really great strides with her Instagram. And when she started this, she started with about 600 followers, she said, and you can go look her up and you can follow her. And multiple people have told me they just love her Instagram and her Insta stories and everything, and she does it in a very real way. And she has been able to increase her following quite a bit. She'll go through it and then also create some really good appointments and meetings. And today she told me she's sending samples to someone in the UK that she met on Instagram. So what she is doing is working. So, of course, I know all can learn from her. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Mollie. And yeah, we're just pumped to learn. And of course, throw questions in the chat, or Mollie can tell us how she wants questions.
Yeah, questions definitely in the chat. If you want to take yourself off mute too at any point, that's totally awesome. Just ask away. So Allison shared a little bit of my social media story, but I'll kind of continue on that and then we'll just kind of see where it goes from there. But so I've always done fairly well with social media. Most of my enrollments are coming from my social media platform. For the purpose of tonight's call, I'm primarily just going to be talking about Instagram though, and how I've recently changed Instagram. So I did work with a coach. So I hired Zach, who was a fantastic coach. And part of what I wanted to work on with him was really honing in on social media and taking it from something where I was just scrolling and finding myself watching a lot of stories of other Isagenix people and turning it into something that was intentional, it was strategic, and it had structure. And so I'm sure y'all have heard this before, but have you ever scrolled and then literally like after you're done scrolling, you're like in a zone, right? You're dazed. And it's literally because your brain is rapid fire making so many decisions that it's exhausting. And so when you get stuck in that, like you might feel like you're working when you're scrolling, but you're not. Like that's not intentional work. And so a few things that I did immediately was wrap my head around time frames with Instagram and set up very specific time frames. There's some feedback coming from somewhere. Okay, I think we're good. And so that was like step one, is realizing how much time I was on social media and what was I doing with that time? Was it intentional? I say I'm using social media for my business. Am I really? And if I'm watching all the stories I'm watching, if they're already Isagenix people, like how am I using this as a prospecting tool? Like, yes, we're probably all Allison fans and Gretchen fans and April, everybody, like we love watching these stories. But at the end of the day, there's a small amount of time that we have to use social media to network and to socialize. And so I started watching stories of people other than Isagenix people, you guys. Like, and then when you're not watching just Isagenix people, the things that you're saying are you. It's you. It's not copying someone else, but it's literally coming out of your mouth. It's your verbiage. It's who you are. And so I'll tie that in a little bit to stories. I do stories all times of the day. I do stories with my matching pajamas on. I do stories, when I have my hair done. I do them at all parts of the day because you want people to know you. People do business with people that they know, like, and love. And so I am introducing myself to people every day on Instagram, and I'm giving them a sneak peek into my life. And the sweet spot with Instagram stories is really making sure that you have enough stories to where your product stories just slide in very naturally and it's not overkill. It's easy for me to talk about products because I have other conversations. I talk about, like I just did when I was like in my closet, and I talk about my vision board, and I talk about, what else I'm eating throughout the day, where I'm shopping, what am I doing? Y'all know I talk about my hair. If anybody follows me, I talk about hair wash day and what I do with my hair and stuff like that. So that way it's easy then when I'm taking my e-shot. Like I've earned that right to talk to people about those products. And they're not like, oh, she does this talk about products. No, I talk to you about every aspect of my life. And Isogenics fits in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, before workouts, after workouts, all of that. And so there are some times when I will make a Instagram story and I'll be like, oh gosh, that's really embarrassing. Should I post it? And that probably means like, yeah, I want people to see that vulnerable side of me, and I don't want it to be perfect. I want them to see it fully. And then when I'm out in my community, for Hutchinson is a fairly small community, but when I'm out, people will ask me like, oh, how are you? Or like, oh, your hair's done today. Or like, oh, how are your dogs? Did they come home? Like they know me. It's very easy for people to walk up and have a conversation with me. And on that note, like be yourself. Don't try to be someone different. And ultimately what I would really want to happen is that when people meet me face to face, they're like, wow, she's even better than she is on her Instagram stories. Like she's cool on Instagram, but man, face to face, like she's even cooler. So make sure that not only do you live up to who you say that you are, but you're even above and beyond that when you meet people face to face. Like truly live out. Oh, thanks, Allison. Truly live out what you say you're doing. So Instagram stories, just do them. If you're not doing them, like do them and do it regularly. And talk to your community. That's an easy way. And if you make a fool of yourself, it's going to be gone, you guys, in 24 hours. That's the beauty of it. It's gone. Say what you want to say, and then they're going to move on and forget about it. And so yes, with stories, be authentic, be real, and very easily slide in the products that you're using because they're a part of your life. And then if you are watching Isogenics people only, you guys, you need to start watching people that you are trying to build relationships with. Don't forget that social media it's social. It's supposed to allow us to be social with other people. And so how does that work? So once I made the shift to really following people that weren't in Isogenics, I just started commenting on their stories. If something they did was cool, I would say that. And not fakey fake either. The truth of the matter is we don't need everyone. You guys, there are 800 million people on Instagram. I'm looking for like 10. I want like 10 of me, right? And I want like 10 of Allison and 10 of, you know what I mean? Like we look at it and we think, I feel like I used to look at it and think that everybody, like, oh, everybody's already trying to sell something and everybody this. No, y'all, there are 800 million people on Instagram. That's a lot of people. You just got to find the people that you want. Like find the people that you want. The truth of the matter is you don't need everybody. You don't need 800 million people to make a successful Isogenics business. You need a few people that want to do a little bit of work, right? A few, and hopefully a lot that want to run like all of you are running on here. And so just think about that. Anytime you find yourself in a position where it's like, oh, no, there's not enough people. No, you just haven't talked to enough. You have not talked to enough people. And, for 800 million people. So just start, and you'll also notice, so on that, when I increased my following, how much time do I got? Here I was like worried that I wouldn't have enough. I wouldn't have enough content. So when I originally started to grow my following, I set up that designated time and I became a liking machine. Social media wants you to be social. That's the algorithm. That's the culture of Instagram. That's the culture of even Facebook too, is it wants you to be social. And so what I would do is I would literally I would be scrolling, but I'm not reading and I'm just liking, like, even if I don't like it, I don't care. I'm liking it. Like all of it. Like, I don't care what it is. For, I would set my timer for 20-minute increments and I'm just liking. I'm not reading it. I'm not caring if I even like the photo. And how does this feel authentic, right? We want to build a genuine following. You're like, Molly, that doesn't sound authentic. You're liking stuff you don't even like. But in order for my word to be heard, it needs to be pushed to the top of the screen. And in order for it to be pushed to the top of the screen, I need to be socially active. So there are people out there that need to hear my message, just like there's people out there that need to hear your message. And so in order for our messages to be seen at the top of that algorithm, you got to play the game. And the game is that you need to have likes and you need to be social. And so we only have so much time in the day. So I fire through likes, fire through them. And there is a time where you'll comment and you'll be social and you'll actually engage in conversation, but for the purposes of making your stuff visible and for gaining followers, it's just liking. And particularly right before you do a post. So right before you're going to do a post, designate 20 minutes to just liking. Set a timer on your phone and just like. And again, like don't spend time reading it or anything. Just see how many likes you can get, right? And you'll figure out how to like double click, right? You can do 2 fingers at once. Like you'll get really good at liking really fast. Yeah, professional liker. So then, like what you'll find is as you start to increase your following, you're going to get all types of crazy messages, y'all, like crazy messages in your inbox. And what you're going to identify really quickly is who has hired someone to take care of the Instagram. You can smell them out so quick. Literally, you hit accept and they're like, hi, I'm into health and wellness, blah, blah. Are you interested in getting healthy? It's like, oh. And I was always like, gosh, I don't want to be that person. Don't ever let me be that person. And then so I would like at first I would fire back. Did you even look at my page? Did you even see like, duh, I'm into health. Hello. Like, look at my profile, like, yeah, I'm into health. And so I vowed, I'm like, I'm never going to be that person that doesn't take some time to actually look at someone's page and learn a little bit about them before I've earned the right to send them a message. And you guys, that just takes a little bit of time. You can literally look at somebody's page for 30 seconds and figure out what's important to them. There's a lot of comments here. Let me take a break here.
So I can recap. There are a couple of questions. Do you ever get scared or worried about safety? Sometimes I get paranoid, says Ashley. And then do the likes matter or the comments?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Get scared or worried? No, I don't know. Like in what sense?
It's a good question, Ashley. You can unmute yourself and talk if you want.
Yeah. We can come back. And Holly, yeah, the likes do. From what I've found, heck yeah, they do. Because if I do a solid 20 minutes before my post of liking, like I have way more likes on my stuff, way more engagement. Hands down, absolutely that works. Like quickly, like that would, like I'd have posts, you guys, like that I poured my heart out to, and I'd get like 24 likes. I'm like, what? Like 24 likes? Like that's good content, people. And so then like as you like, you'll be like, oh my gosh, look, there's 100 comments and there's a bunch of like actual conversations happening. So yeah, that totally gets you to the top of like when you just hit the search button, like based off of your hashtags and based off what you're looking at, if you hit search, it's more likely that you're going to pop up in these other people's searches then.
Sorry, I had to fix my settings.
Oh, you're good.
So as far as the safety, yeah, like prior to being involved in social media, like I was always very careful about, because I post a lot about my kids and my family and things like that. And I know it's come a long way, but I was always very careful about what I posted and like, just like my address and like the kids' faces, you know, when they were babies and things like that. And I know things have come a long way, but every once in a while I'm like, oh gosh, like I'm not sure. Like there's crazy people out there. And so like I don't want to put myself or my family at risk for the benefit of me getting a follower. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. And so, I mean, address, I never expose my address. I don't ever expose my address. And there are certain things that I don't do, like with Reese, like, but overall, I'm like, I don't know. I try not to think about that too much because I think I'd just drive myself cuckoo. And so I'm smart about what I post and, like, yeah, I would say just focus on the good, you know, and then for the most part, most of the world is good.
Yeah. And I mean, you can certainly not put your kids or put them minimally, you know, I mean, I think people who, you know, where your kids are just kind of on the side or, you know, like not the focus of the posts. So I don't know.
Yeah. Then who do I follow for interest? What hashtags? This is so important. Mary, where are you? This is important. So when I first started this, I noticed that I would find myself always like in conversations where like my hashtags are health, wellness, fit mom, fit mama, you know, like all these things. But really like who I'm looking for now is like who I was before I started this journey. Like, and sure, I'll take somebody who's a Beachbody coach and try to convert them and, you know, or, hey, I'll talk to somebody about Herbalife. But then it just seems like a battle, you know, and which I'm totally down for that. But I would rather have someone that is like where I was before I found Isogenics, when I was hungry for something different, when I sat in my cubicle. Like, think about what you were. I think all too often we forget about what it was like before we found this. What was life like before you knew there was more? And so I actually looked back to when I was in corporate. I looked back on my Instagram and I was like, what hashtags was I using then? Like, what was I talking about then? You know, before I did all this stuff. And so then I started searching, for who to follow was like, I'm looking for those people. So I started just playing around with hashtags. Who do I want this person to be? My target market is probably a female. Like I have male customers too, but primarily it's a woman and I want her to be faithful. So I search a lot of like faith-based hashtags and I search a lot of like fitness in a sense, but I just don't want my page to be filled with all these people who already are like ripped and working out in the gym, which is great. But, you know, I'm kind of looking for like someone before that. Like I said, I'm looking for me. Where was I? And try to put yourself into that position of that person that you're looking for. We've talked about avatars before. I'm sure you've heard about that. But like visualize, like who are you looking for? What do they want? And visualize and think about that and speak to them and find them. Find them, you guys. Like you are an answered potentially to their prayers. Like they're waiting, you know, and they don't even know what they're waiting for yet. But like look for that person and know that you're going to have to turn over a lot of rocks. I know you've heard it before. If someone told you that there's $1 million under a rock in the backyard, how many rocks are you going to go flip over before you find it? And so then when you are reaching out to people, like what I've found that I really like, because I'm like, I don't want to be that person like, oh, hi. So do you enjoy health and wellness? And even like looking at everybody's descriptions on their page, it was all the same. Health and wellness coach, health and wellness coach, health and wellness. I'm like, gosh, what's different? So think about like, who are you? Like, who are you really? Are you a hippie who's healthy? Cool, rock it. Are you, you know, what are you? Like mine, I think mine's, and I've changed this a lot, but mine's like, I praise Jesus and I swear. Like, you know, Tupac and country, whatever it is. Like, who are you? What makes you unique? And so then I would, before I reach out to someone, I take literally, you guys, like 30, 45 seconds, skim their page. You can very quickly tell if they are using another product. Like right away, you can be like, oh, yep, there's, you know, you can tell. Right? Yeah. Yes. Tacos and shakes. Yes. You can tell right away if people are already affiliated with another company. It does not take long, right? You could look at my page and see, oh, green shaker cup. Oh, here you go. Here you go. So I would look at their page and I'll figure out. And then Instagram, you can send a video. can take a video and send it to them. Hey girl, I just looked at your page. This is me talking. They can see my face. I love what I see on your page. Your kids are so adorable. Oh my gosh. Or like, oh my gosh, I adore your hair. It's like the same as my daughter's. What kind of product do you use? Or like, oh my gosh, I see that you work out. Like, what do you see? Be real. Because I'm like, that's different than this, like, you know, this stupid, like, oh, I'm into health and wellness. What are you into? You know, like, come on. Like, be creative. Take time to look at their page. Then you've earned the right to send them a message. I still have a lot of people ghost me, but there's a lot more engagement coming back. There's a lot more conversations coming back. And so then the other thing, oh gosh, how much time? Guys, there's so much goodness. So the other thing, one person that I reached out to, don't assume that because people have a lot of followers that they're getting paid for that. Most of these people have a ton of followers and aren't monetizing any of it. None of it. One girl I reached out to, she's got a good amount of followers, very healthy amount of followers. She's in the gym all the time. She lifts weights. She's talking about healthy food. Hold on a second. Sent her the voicemail. And I was like, you know, I'm like, oh gosh, I'd love to talk to you about how you're monetizing this. I'm like, you've got to be like making bank, girl. Like, let's talk. She sends me like, no, I'm not. I'm like, oh my gosh, can we talk on Zoom? And so we were going to do Zoom, but Instagram even has a feature where you can video chat back and forth, you know, just like Facebook Messenger. You can do that on Instagram. It's kind of finicky though, because you can't like you have to wait until one person stops talking for the other one to go. So I would still recommend Zoom, but it works in a bind, like it works. And so I got on a Zoom with her. And I was like, gosh, you know, you're doing so great. And she's like, I'm not money. No, I'm not making any money. And I was like, well, I'm like, you have tons of comments. Like everybody's talking about your body and what you're eating. I'm like, what do you tell them when they ask you what you're doing? She's like, well, I tell them I work out. And I'm like, okay, like, wow. I'm like, well, would you like to, you know, like potentially earn some cash? And she's like, well, yeah. Like, you guys, like, don't be intimidated by big followers. I swear, like, the younger generation, it's just a thing. Like, you have a lot of followers. Like, they know how to do it. They know how to get the followers. That doesn't mean they know how to make the money. That doesn't mean they even have an opportunity. A lot of them are handing out these codes, here, use my link. Here, use my code. What they get back is one kickback. Say that they use a product from bodybuilding.com. Bodybuilding.com will give them one kickback. Somebody goes there once, uses their promo code, they get like $10. And then when the customer goes back and purchases again and again and again, no, that goes to bodybuilding.com. That doesn't come to the person. So like, talk to people, especially if you see those codes, you guys, talk to them about it. Today, my London lady, she had tagged someone. She actually was talking about the bar was crappy. So somebody did that and she talked about a crappy bar. And I was like, hey, you know, we had been talking for a while. I'm like, but I'm going to send you some stuff. Like, just whatever your gut tells you, you guys, is what you should do. So if your gut's like, oh my God, why are they doing that? Send them a message. Hey, why are you doing that? Does that make you money? Even play dumb. Like, how much money do you make? What does that make for you? Is it good for you? Do you like it? Ask questions. And then that will engage in conversation. And sometimes these conversations can go on for a while before people will be like, sure, I'll go on Zoom with you, or sure, I'll talk to you. Right? But I think just, you know, use the features that are there. And as much as you can, get in front of people face to face. And even if that's a video, send them the video. Because at minimum, people are like, oh my God, that was so sweet. It's so nice to see somebody actually talk to me. Yeah, instead of these like stupid messages that are just auto responders because they've hired someone to take care of their Instagram for them.
I love this. And it's so much about relationships, you guys. Like, I'm hearing the major relationships that she's forming. You're looking quickly to see, it doesn't take that long, right? The liking is like 20 minutes, and then the relationships, you are looking to see if they have product. You're looking for people who you were at the beginning. Just to clarify, when you do a video, are you going into the stories and doing the 15-second video and then hitting send?
Well, no. So you actually, if you go into like if you go in to send someone a message, like go to their page and then just, it's at the bottom, like the video message is there. It's the same 15-minute clips.
It is, so it's 15 seconds.
Oh yeah, 15 seconds, not 15 minutes. Yes, 15 seconds.
I mean, this is just some of the things people probably are wondering. Do you try to get your first message done in 15 seconds or do you send multiple?
It's usually like 2.
Okay, yep. So you send it to that person. And you told me the other day, part of why I was like, I'm so excited. You told me you'd sent out like 30.
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing. Like, you got to write them down. When you're sending like 20, 30, I just have them all wrote down. And then if they respond to me, I highlight them. So I have a page for each day. And so if they're highlighted, I'm like actively engaged in conversation with them. So then I'll loop back around, and just make sure that I'm conversing with them until it's like built up enough relationship to where they've given me something. Like one lady I'm communicating with in California right now, she's like, because I was like, I sent her a video. I love your page. I'm like, you're so adorable. Congratulations on your baby. He looks so cute. And from there it was just, oh, thanks. Where are you from? Where are you from? Oh, cool. I was like, wow. I'm like, you have such good social media content. Again, how are you getting monetized for that? And she's like, oh yeah, I want to be a social media influencer. I'm like, girl, you are a social media influencer. I'm like, let's talk, and she's like, oh, and so her family's in for the holiday right now, but we're going to talk next week. Super sweet girl. Does have awesome, like all of it's true. I'm not making up anything to say to these people. You can find something nice to say to anybody, you guys. People aren't used to it. They're used to like cookie cutter messages. It's what they're used to. So your box, literally, you guys, like 15, 20 messages a day in my inbox. Hi, Mollie Terlinden.
So can we talk about that for a quick minute? Because I know you switched your account to a business account.
Yes.
Do you recommend that for everyone, and why or why not? Or is it up to the person? Go ahead.
Sure. I'd say it's up to the person, but if you're running a business, is it a business to you?
Right.
I don't know.
So, and then
you don't have to promote every post, but I think that's a question that you have to ask yourself. Is this a business? Do you want to run it like a business? Then maybe you should have a business account. You don't have to, but I've only promoted, I think, one or two posts. But then it has a call link, message link, all of that there. Like you have more things. And then you can look at analytics. Well, that's the other thing I was going to talk about. When I first started, I did get an app to track my followers, my engaged followers. Another thing that that happens with accounts where people have other people running their Instagram is they follow and unfollow. Like they want to have they want to be following less than they're following. And so on any given day, my followers fluctuate by 50 or 60. And so I did get an app. So then people who like aren't following me and I can tell they're just like, fake ran accounts, I unfollow them. What app was that before the business account? So the app is called Followers. I think I paid for an upgrade like $2 or whatever, $3. Here, I'll show it to you. So it's the blue one.
And Holly also.
And it's gonna.
Go ahead.
Do you find there's much attention? Yeah. Yeah, there hasn't been any difference. Some of my posts that have the most like on them are from my business account because it doesn't show sponsored unless you promote it and pay. People wouldn't be able to tell, really. I don't think like the common person would know if it was a business account unless you paid to have a post sponsored.
So do you have a personal account and a business account? Or
No, I converted my personal.
And it's free, right? Free to switch?
To convert, yes. And so then it wants to link to a Facebook account. And so I have this other like page that I really haven't done anything with on Facebook because I don't have my personal Facebook page. I haven't switched over. That's the other thing. I stopped feeding all of my posts over to Facebook too, because what I found would happen is I would feed, like I always used to, put it to Facebook right away. Well, then like there's some people that even if they see it on Instagram, they want to comment on Facebook. For some reason, it's easier for them to actually comment on Facebook. So then they might not comment on my Instagram one. Well, I'm working my Instagram business right now. It's what I'm focusing on is Instagram. So I want to go my Instagram. So I want everybody commenting on Instagram. Does that make sense? Like Allison, you might normally comment on Facebook. If the only place you can comment is Instagram, you're going to comment on Instagram if the post isn't on Facebook. So then all of a sudden, all these people are commenting. Well, then my post gets pushed to the top of the feed. So all of a sudden it's in like the Instagram algorithm popularity world.
Yeah. Yeah, this is super good. So, and I would say, you guys, like she's giving sort of intermediate level, which is what we wanted, right? Like some people, everyone is so at different places. And I recognize that. Like maybe some of you are like, I don't really want to focus on Instagram right now. That's cool. Like don't feel like you have to focus. If you found your groove and it's not using Instagram, it's not necessary. I just know a lot of people have been raising their hands saying, I want to figure out this thing and how are people really making it happen? And Mollie is really getting some good traction. And, some people would rather find their secret sauce there, which I think, I've just seen her also through a lot of trial and error. A lot of trial and error, a lot of time spent. And you can make it whatever you want. Ashley, to your point, if you wanted to just do kids on Facebook and use your Instagram for more like your This Is Me posts, like you've had some awesome posts lately, you could do that. That makes you feel better. Like there are certain things that I don't think I put me as birth announcement on Instagram because I felt like it was more personal to me. And I was like, I don't need them to see that. Like, I don't think I put the picture in the hospital of her on Instagram. So know that. And then Mollie, also, do you just want to touch on how it's like, it's a tool? You kind of already alluded to this, but Zach, who you coached with and everything, like he's all about alignment and authenticity and being your true self. And a lot of what you're saying is like using this as a tool. And he said to you, like, you may be wondering, like, if you're just liking, like, what is the philosophy that you use behind the scenes in your head to stay in your authenticity and alignment with this?
I'm just like, I am who I am. Mm-hmm. Like, and the right people are going to show up. And there's still times, you guys, when I make a post and I'm like, oh my gosh, am I exposing that? Or I'll do a story. And honestly, you guys, those are the ones that you have to put out there. You guys, when you really feel uncomfortable, like when you feel like you're exposing a different side of yourself, that's when you have to. And those are really the times when people reach out to me and when people comment and when people are like, all right, that spoke to me. Those are the times. And I think if you're grounded, I'm going to talk faith. If anybody, doesn't, whatever, I'm going to talk faith. Like if you are praying over your business and if you are praying to have breakthroughs, you guys, like answered prayers might be those nudges on your heart. Those things that say, oh, you should say that, before like our conscious mind is like, no, you can't. People might not like you. People might judge you. People might think you're stupid. People might not like that photo. Like that's the safe, that's us trying to protect ourselves. But you have to like face the fear and take it as like, all right, that's God putting that on my heart and my mind. And I need somebody, and just stay so grounded. And not everybody is going to like you. And that's good. You guys, if everyone likes you, then you're not living into your truth, because not everybody should agree with every single one of your opinions. Then you're bending the truth somewhere. So just accept that not everybody's going to like you. That's fine. Those aren't the people that are supposed to be with you. Again, we're talking about Instagram, 800 million people there. How many millions of people are the billions of people in the world? How many people on Facebook? Few people don't like it. Oh, well. And that's something I think, I still have to deal with all the time. And as network marketers, that's what you have to deal with. In this profession and in any sales industry, people are going to have something to say about what you're doing. People ain't going to like it, love it, whatever. Those aren't the people you're looking for. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, totally. And you said, I remember you really reiterated, you were like, I'm using Instagram as a tool to get my message out there to all of the right people that are looking for me, and to share your vision and to find the people, like it's a tool. So you're going to do the rules of the tool. You're using the rules of the tool because your vision is great enough that you want to be serving people, and that's how you're going to reach the people that you're meant to serve.
Yep. Yeah, it's totally a tool. It's a tool to have your message be heard. People are counting on every single one of you, like, to share your story. Like, there are people that are depending upon you to be bold. And this is a fantastic tool that connects us with people all over the world. Because I'm sending freaking samples of somebody in London that I met on Instagram. Like, how cool. She's badass. She's so cool. Right? And that's why I follow her. She's cool. She's a fitness instructor. She's cute. She's cool. And so connect with those people that you're looking for, and just think, I always think intention, strategy, structure. Intention, strategy, structure. Is this intentional? Is this a part of my strategy? Do I have structure here? Like, structure would be like me getting stuck in a scroll hole. Whoa, that is not structure. That is not a tool. Then it becomes something emotional, because when you're stuck in a scroll hole, that's like comparison zone. That's like the lion's den. That's just, it's crazy. Comparison, all that, when you get stuck into that zone. If you are going to get stuck in a scroll hole, get stuck on people at least that you're like prospecting and trying to build relationships with. Don't get stuck on scroll holes with isogenics people. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all friends, and I want to show love to all y'all, but right, spend time building relationships with new people to bring in our community, like bring in here.
Perfect. Good. Any final questions? Otherwise, I know we're slightly over. So any we're worried about content time. You could go on. Any final questions? Anything? Comments? Cool. Then I think we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Thank you,
amazing.
Mollie.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
Everyone.
I'll get this one
Bye.
tonight too. If anyone needs the recording, or if you want to chat more about it, reach out to Mollie. Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.